Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem Al Shai Bashem Rakakwadash Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of you elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, we will have concubines in this world and concubines in the world to come. There's nothing wrong with having women of the other nations to deal with and even have babies with, because the babies that come out are Israelites anyway. But your first choice should always be an Israelite woman. Now, on this side of the world, you got to be careful. You deal with an Edomite woman, you go into her neighborhood, them good old boys might beat the shit out of you or kill you. So you got to be, Anyway, Jake is getting with Edomite women anyway, and other nations' women. And anyway, let me just go ahead and read this. This is what is this? Twins Hangout, Kenya. Okay, so I don't know if they people that live in actual Kenyan or they in the States or whatever the case may be. Anyway, this popped up, so I said, let me go ahead and listen to it. I listened to 17 seconds. I said, I had to make a video. So the name of the video, as you can see, is Japan begging black men, meaning African American men, not Hamites, African American men, hashtag African American men. Japan begging black men to the Japan government begging black men to go and impregnate their women for $75,000. Look, you impregnate 10 of them, that's 7.5 million. You set for life. So, and there's nothing, biblically there's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you're dealing with that's your personal concubine, that's your queen. Queen meaning a concubine, a woman in waiting, your personal whore. That's some of the words synonymous with the word concubine. Paramour, when you break it down, is a compound word. Para meaning through, or per meaning through, and amor meaning love, through love. Paramour, a woman that you're not legally married to, but that's your woman on the side. Also, a mistress is also would be considered a concubine too, whether that mistress is an Israelite woman or a woman of another nation. They all go under the category of a concubine. And I give you scriptures to back it up. Oh, you got Bishop Nathaniel talking about you can't have more than one woman on this side. That it's a sin, that you're wicked, and you make the woman a whore if you had to say, all that nonsense. But you can have more than one woman. You can have more than one woman among Israel, and you can have concubines as well. That 7 women shall take hold of one man starts with the Israelite woman, but also includes the women of the other nations. And like I said, you can impregnate them. Now, where's that? In Hagar, I believe it is, if I'm not mistaken. I should have went to it. Nehemiah. I believe that's around the 9th, 10th chapter, around there. I'm not going to go into it. Somebody can pull it up. But there was a problem with Israelite men falling in love with women of the other nations and having babies by them. Now the problem was they would fall in love with them women, not making them concubines, and they would have babies, and they would fall in love with the children that these women had of the other nations. So you would fall in love with this woman and fall in love with the family. You had an extended family. Some of them were Israelites, some of them were of another nation that she brought in. So that's where they were going off. See, King David, he had concubines. He had women of the other nations. A concubine is like a second-class wife. Which there was nothing wrong with that. So in the kingdom, we're going to have that too. So let me read this here. Japan's population began to decline after peaking at 128 million in 2008, registering 125 million in 2022. Now, 2022. What happened in 2021, 2020, and 2019? That people are starting to see that they were wrong on. Like Chris Cuomo. Chris Cuomo was talking when he was on with CNN. He was talking against ivermectin, and now he takes it. He said, "But I didn't know." Well, if you're not a journalist. You're a news personality. You act like you're bringing out the news. News personality, not a journalist. But you're supposed to be a journalist. A news guy, they put the story together. They get both sides of the story. Which news people don't do now. They only give you one side of the story. So he should have put his journalist cap on, because they are somewhat of a journalist, because you got to gather information and deal with the pros and the cons, and you got to give the pros and the cons. Like if they were honest about this situation in the Middle East, they would use the G word. Ain't nobody in U.S. media. They're not gonna use the G word. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, ask somebody. Because somebody got the answer, what is it? What does Tahar said something about the G word? What does the G word mean in relation to the Middle East? It says if this trend continues. Now, like I said, it peaked in 2008 and 2022. So we got to go backwards, 2022, 2021, 2020, 2019. If this trend continues, Japan's population is projected to decline to 63 million. Wow, we're talking less than half. I'm sorry, more than half of these women are not going to, the numbers, because 60, 120, talking about half. Okay, projected to decline to 63 million in 2100. So that's we're talking about another 80 years. Half of its population in 2022. Right, it's half. Behind the trend lies Japan's declining birth rate. This was put up a month ago. Let me pause it and let me kind of. Okay, these are the twin hangouts. Well, they're straight up Kenyan. them are straight up Kenyan. Let me see something. Commercial. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me bring this back. God damn. Hard to look at. Hard to look at. Looking like looking like black radishes. Okay. Okay. Next, what Japanese people think when they see a black person. So you got to watch the video to find out. They see a god. We think they're scary. What did I say? They're scary, but they're fancy from my perspective. Meaning scary, they don't mess with a Jake. Jake will F you up. So she's saying, they're fancy, they, have a certain look, but they're scary at the same. Talking about Jake. This is why you so-called black men, you don't need the black woman. You can get any woman you want. They're willing to give you money. Hold up. I don't know what other people think, but wait a minute. But I think they're fancy. But I think of a little bit scary. Let me bring that back. Gotta catch that last part. So she said they're fancy, but they're scary. Like if you get in the wrong side, they might knock your head. Talking about the black man. But I think, come on, I think they're fancy, but I kind of a little bit scary. Damn, man. Come on now. See if I can. Okay, the reason why I was a child, okay, would you date a black guy? Would you date a black guy? Now that I've been living in Japan for a while now and kind of been in the dating scene, I think these videos should stop. I get that before when I was in America watching, I'd like Japanese people will date us. They will like us. When they say they wouldn't, I would generally get mad at, but why not? And after I realized that, like, even though we see these videos online, some Japanese people saying they would, when they get, you're most likely not going to find them. And even if get the video and say they would, most likely they're not. Like when they come face to face with you, they're not going to do, just already assume that they're not going to date you. And that's bullshit, because Jake men go over there, they get, look, Tyson went over there and he was popping them left and right. Okay, but the Japanese chick was the most honest, because she said they're fancy, but they're a little scary. But like I said, a government is willing to offer you $75,000. So you pop 10 of them, get them all pregnant, $7.5 million. You set for life. And why, out of all the races, they want Jake to come up over there? We dominate everything. Basketball, number Jake. Few white boys, but them white boys are actually Jake. Them guys, he's a white guy. They're Jake. They just look white. Football. What's this guy? Travis. He's dating, plays with the Kansas City Chief. He look like a white boy. That dude's a nigga. That dude ain't nothing but a nigga. There's a light-skinned nigga. A nigga. I believe. Because he's Irish descent. Whatever Jake gets into, sports-wise, look at the bodybuilding world. It's nothing but Jake. First, Mr. Olympia. First place, Jake. Second place, Jake. Third place, Jake. Fourth place, it might be an Italian white boy, which he might be a Jake. It's the genetics, man. Special people. The people know that we're the special people. We are those people. The Most High's special people are supposed to be the Israelites, right? Them people over there in the land of Israel, what are they doing that's special? If those are the real Israelites, anytime they went to the Olympics, they'll win all the gold medals. Israel wins gold medal for this. They would dominate everything. Track and field, distant racing and sprints and all that, man. The music. You know, you got them people in Japan that they listen to American music. Jake, they want to be hip hop people. They want to rap. They want to spit fire, as they call it. The whole planet wants to be us, but we're not the people. We got all this talent, but we ain't the people. How does that make sense? No talent come out of the land of that land. If you mess around and go to Google or whatever, and you put in the top rappers in Israel, guess who pop up? Jake. Cause y'all ain't got it. I'm just being honest. I'm not being anti-simp. I'm a simp myself. A shim myself. So the whole world's waking up. And they want Jake. And if you do that, you'll change the Japan forever, because it'd be nothing but Jake. Just like Southern Italy. The Naples and Sicily and Palermo and what's the other one? Sardinia, places like that. Those are the Moors, man. They went in there, systematically deleted the men and popped the women and had babies. And them babies those were Israelites, man. That's why you see the Italians and even the Irish that come over here, they act like Jake, because they are Jake. And these two are not Jake. And for you comedic dudes, I want you to see, y'all get with some of these women that look like this. That's a pure African right there. So, let me go right to the precepts. I'm not going to make this long. Okay. All right, let me come over here. 17 precepts. Genesis 25, verse 6. I'm going to breeze through it, then I'm going to close. But unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had. Who was his concubines? Hagar was one, and Keturah was another one, where he had six sons from Keturah, which she was a heathen. Hagar was a heathen. So it says, but unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away from Isaac, his son, while he yet lived eastward unto the east country. 2 Samuel 5 verse 13, and David took him more concubines and wives out of Jerusalem after he was come from Hebron, and he already had wives and concubines. He took more, and there were yet sons and daughters born to David. David had a lot of children because he had a lot of wives and concubines, and he impregnated them concubines of them other nations. So I don't know what Bishop Nathaniel's talking about. Second Samuel 15 verse 16, and the king went forth and all his household after him, and the king left 10 women which were concubines to keep the house. Now that goes into the whole thing with he had an account with his son popping his concubines, which are his wives, low second class wives, and that dude was extra. He was extra wicked. This guy, Absalom. And he had the nerve to have the name Father of Peace. There's nothing peaceful about this dude. He's a real demon. I wonder who that nigga is today. But he did have long hair, so you can narrow it down. He prided himself in his long hair. I ain't mention no names. There's a lot of Israelite men out there with long hair. Give me a head of hair, long, beautiful hair. That's from a song. Shoulder length longer, hair, baby, there, mama, everywhere, daddy, hair. Apostle Gabar is cracking up right now. Showing, glowing, long as I can go in my hair. That's why you men have long hair, and the Jakes, because it's a vanity thing with you guys. It ain't a religious thing. It's a vanity thing with you. Why you think Paul got on the men in Corinth? And look, it ain't talking about, Deacon Akar said, Paul was just talking to the men in the church of Corinth. He wasn't talking about the other churches. So if he went to Ephesus and they had long hair, he didn't say, no, you guys can have long hair. Does that make sense? And Ahithophel, the counsel of David, said unto Absalom, and he went from David to give counsel to Absalom. When you read about Ahithophel, it said he had the counsel of the gods. It was like speaking to an angel. This man had counsel up the wazoo. So David got a little nervous. He said, wait a minute, Absalom with this guy? The scriptures say that David and his men were chafed in the spirit, meaning you look at them the wrong way, they're going to chop your head clean off. And David was a straight up warrior from his youth. It says, go in unto thy father's concubines. This is Ahithophel telling Absalom to do it, which he have left to keep the house. Right, there was 10 of them. And all Israel shall hear that thou art abhorred of thy father. Then shall the hands of all that are with thee be strong. So they spread Absalom a tent upon the rooftop of the house, and Absalom went in unto his father's concubine in the sight of all Israel, meaning all the Israelites saw it. He's a wicked nigga, man. And that nigga ain't making it. He ain't making it. Trust me. He ain't coming back. Well, that was Absalom back there, but when he came back as a prophet. He came back as one of the 12. Are you kidding me, man? And by the way, right, this is also saying here it took 10 women which were concubines. Now let me do this. Let me read some more of them. Songs of Solomon 6 verse 8. There are three score queens and 80 concubines and virgins without number. Even in Daniel 5, it goes into concubines. These ancient kings, the kings of the ancient world, they had wives, but they had concubines, and the wives couldn't say nothing because a woman is a second-class citizen in Israel. Let me do this here. Concubine. I'm not going to bring out all of these. Okay. Judges 8 verse 11, and his concubine that was in Shechem, she also bore him a son whose name he called Abimelech. So let's open it up. Okay, this was Midian subdued before the children of Israel, so that they lifted up their heads no more, and the country was in quietness 40 years in the days of Gideon. And Jerubbaal, the son of Joash, went and dwelt in his own house, and Gideon had 70 sons of his body begotten, for he had many wives, 70 sons. And his concubine that was in Shechem, she also bare him a son whose name was called Abimelech, which he was an Israelite. Ain't no such thing as half-breeds or what's the term? What's the daggone term? It's a common term. I can't believe I can't remember it. Damn, what's the damn term? Mamzer. Mamzer doesn't mean Israelite man laying down with an Edomite woman, and the son that comes forth of that is not an Israelite. Well, what is it if it's not the Israelite? The seed come from the father. So this is the proof that you had Israelite men that had children from concubines, women of another nation. So the Most High, there's no, all this precept that I went through, there's nowhere in the scripture where the Most High said, look, you got to stop laying with the women of the other nations. He said, don't fall in love with them, don't marry them. They're just a piece of box that you get. That's where harems come from. And see, people know that we're Israel, but they don't know that we're Israel. You know, if you know what I mean. And, the whole world should say, you know what? It makes sense that, Jake, the men of North, Central, and South America, of Indian and Negroid descent, these people got to be the Israelites. Back when you had Edom Europeans coming over here to the Americas, the religious leaders, if not all of them, most of them were saying, well, these are the Israelites. That was a big thing back then. These are the Israelites. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.